Hi, my name is Gus Olson. I've been flirting with women in real life for 12 years already. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the biggest red flag you can have in a girl. If you don't spot this red flag, like most men don't, you will end up in frustrating dates, boring flings, and even toxic relationships. You might waste entire years being with a girl that is simply not good enough and it is constantly taking your energy and that is making your life miserable just because you didn't spot this red flag early enough. Now, in my history of dating, I met quite a few women, so I have a pretty good understanding of the types of women out there. And the biggest red flag, in my opinion, in a girl is entitlement. So entitlement is when a girl expects something to be given to her for nothing. And the biggest way it manifests in dating is girls thinking that because they are attractive, they don't have to bring anything else. So they bring the looks while you bring the charisma, energy, money, decision-making, everything else. And all they bring is the looks. Now, why is this toxic and why does it always end in a bad relationship? Well, number one is you're dating a girl that has nothing else to offer than just good looks. So you're constantly investing things in a relationship. You're the one that brings the charisma. You're the one that brings all the planning. You're the one that brings all the financial resources. And all she does is show up, sit there with a pretty face and think that, of course you do all that because I'm a pretty good woman. It sounds a bit ridiculous. And of course, sometimes it's gonna be that obvious. Sometimes it's not gonna be so obvious, but the underlying premise is the same. Women thinking that because they're beautiful, that is the entire thing that they need to bring in while you bring everything else. Now, the true danger with this is that usually women who think that, they don't have really high self-esteem because deep down they know that all they have to offer is their looks. So what they end up doing is they end up doubling down on their looks, or even worse is they over obsess about their looks. And what ends up happening is you have a girl that has a lot of plastic surgeries, maybe not a lot, maybe just they do fake lips, or maybe they put in fake boobs, or they overinvest in their makeup routine or face routine. And what they also end up doing is they make a lot of photos and they spend hours upon hours upon hours on Instagram trying to perfect their beauty and perfect their image. And obviously being with this kind of girl is quite boring, quite draining, and it's not very fulfilling because all they're obsessing about is their looks and their self-image, because their self-esteem is quite low. And because of it, you'll obviously not be able to build a sincere, authentic connection. And when you are in such a relationship, for sure it's gonna be draining, for sure it's gonna be toxic. And you trying to explain things or you trying to change her, it's simply not going to work and you're just gonna end up with a lot of frustration. Let's talk about a few ways that it can manifest. I already told you some of the ways, so some signs might be subtle. So I actually recently went on a date with a girl that expected me to come to her. Now it's something minor, but still, her expectation that I as a guy should come to her while I was actually just waiting 100 meters on a bench in the park. And she was quite annoyed about that. And it can be more subtle, like she just expects you to pay for everything. Now, as I said, this entitlement is often correlated with girls that overinvest in looks by doing surgeries, by filling up their lips, by overusing the makeup, by having hundreds or thousands of photos on their Instagram because they're obsessing over their image. Also, from personal experience, these kind of women usually come from more traditional cultures. So cultures like Eastern Europe or the other side of the world, some more traditional countries in South America, usually has a more traditional dating culture where it is expected for the guy to do everything else and for the girl to show up pretty. Now, if you want a girl that is attractive, yes, but also a girl that is interesting, intelligent, smart, funny, that you can actually have an authentic connection with, then that is what this channel is for. And this is an important point. I'm not saying that looks are not important. Quite the opposite. I know that looks are important. Everyone wants to date an attractive girl, but there are a lot of beautiful, attractive girls out there. So if you can only go for women that are boring, have no personality, but they only have the looks, well, then you probably have not much to offer and you have to upgrade your skills. Because what I want to go for is a girl that is attractive, yes, but also is funny, charismatic, I can have a banter with, I can have cool conversations with, cool adventures with. She's confident. She has really good self-esteem. That's what we learn on this channel. And the only way you're gonna get those type of women is by having a sharp communication skills, by having great charisma, great humor, and amazing flirting abilities. Otherwise, you'll just end up dating a shallow woman and it's just gonna be dating a mannequin. Like, you have the exterior, and oftentimes actually the exterior is not even that good, because if you have a lot of surgeries, personally, I don't like that. I like more natural women who don't mess up their looks by overdoing it, just like some insecure guys doing steroids. If you want natural looking women who are also smart, charismatic, and funny, then you have to be on your best game. And this is exactly what I teach to other men in my private community. I guide them through the process of learning high communication skills, how to flirt with a woman, how to be confident, how to genuinely do this in real life, not just to read some books or some corny lines. You do this in real life by going and approaching interesting and beautiful women, flirting in an unscripted way, not by corny lines, but actual, real, unscripted communication. You have my feedback. We're doing it live on a call with other guys who are each pushing each other to get over their approach anxiety. And week after week, month after month, they're getting better. They're getting much better in their communication. They're getting more confident. And consequently, they're getting more dates with better quality women and slowly but surely changing their entire lives. If this sounds potentially interesting to you, you can click down below, see some of their transformational stories, and sign up on a call with me to talk about if this might be a good thing for you. It's Gus Olson, and I'll see you there.